Hello and welcome to another part of the Porsche 924 project. Today you can see we have the engine at a slant here because we're hopefully going to be getting it running. Right now, it does turn over pretty well. And it seems to have pretty good compression. I mean, right now there are no spark plugs in it, so it's not going to have any compression. But you can see it's turning over really quick. I just yeah. And with really slow turning, where's our compression test? I took a compression test with really slow turning when this battery wasn't working properly, and it went 80, 40, 40, 40. So we're going to throw the spark plugs back in here, and we're going to wire up the ignition system and see if this thing runs. Actually, you know what? We'll wire up the ignition system first and see if it has spark. Okay, so we got a small problem here. Look at this distributor. There are no points. This is going to be somewhat harder to wire up than normal because I'm used to points ignition. So if we can look at that, looks like we need a connector that goes onto there in order to get these to work. Because this one here is a hook for the cap there. For some reason it has that hook. So I'm not quite sure how this will work. Let me go see on the car if there's some kind of connector there. Okay, so up at the car here we have the coil, and they're not marked positive and negative. They are marked 1 and 15, which I have not. Oh wait, there we go, positive and negative. So the negative goes into here. Somehow, I have to figure this out. We'll get back when I figure this out. This is going to make it extremely hard to get it to work because there's probably an ignition module and stuff like that that I need to figure out how to wire into a temporary ignition system. And just thinking about this, it might be easier to put the engine in the car and get it running. So I think what we'll do next is work on this exhaust manifold. You can see it's shot. I can't get another one. They don't really exist. So I'm going to try to fix this as best I can. Okay, so we got the old header back on. You notice it's a mess here, and it actually doesn't look like it's sealing at all. It's round here, and then it flattens out here. So that's why it doesn't look like it's sealing. It's sealing pretty well. This is my botch job because I need this car working like yesterday. So I had to put this on here to botch this together because this is completely broken off, as I showed before. It's working now. I fixed a little exhaust leak with a clamp just covering it up, and let's go get the car and throw this engine in. Okay, so we have the car down from its spot, and we're going to put the motor in. This is one of the reasons I could not just wire it up. It's got ignition modules, it's not a regular coil and everything, so I'm just going to throw the motor in. It looks relatively easy. I'm going to take this out, I'm going to take the AC pump off, I'm going to zip tie those lines up, put the motor right in. After what feels like a million years, we got the motor out of the box from over there. So let's start removing some parts, and we'll throw the motor in. Okay, now with the air conditioning stuff out of the way and over here, I've tied some of the coolant pipes, I think they're for the heater core, up with a what is that? Bungee cord. And then I took the coil off and just put it there. I don't know if I have to remove the steering shaft from the steering wheel. I might have to remove the whole box, just drop it, see if it does anything. But I don't know if I have to do any of that yet. So we're going to assemble the hoist around the motor and put the motor in the car. And before I get the hoist out, I just got to say the rear tire of this wagon exploded on me when I was trying to move this. Just exploded. And it fell off in the dirt, so I had to drag it over there, which was extremely hard because that thing is really heavy. Okay, so we have the engine on the hoist. We are about ready to put her in the car. Hopefully it'll fit with this steering shaft still bolted on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the header on afterwards because I got the chain in the way because I really couldn't find anywhere to hook this chain up. Okay, I've run into a bit of an issue with the 924 engine installation. First one was this steering knuckle. I had to remove that, which wasn't too fun. The second one is this cross member. It's in the way. So I have to figure out how to remove the cross member, and I think to remove the cross member, I had to take the suspension out. So I gotta throw the car up on, I gotta take the motor back out, put the car up on jack stands, take the cross member out, and then redo all this all over again. Okay, so with that cross member dropped and hanging there, let's roll the motor back in, see if we can actually get it to line up this time. Okay, so now the motor is in the car. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw on the exhaust manifold because I took it off in order to put the engine in. I'm going to throw the engine mounts on, and then we'll throw the front end back together. Okay, so we got the motor in. It's all bolted down. Those were the worst engine mounts I have ever done. Although I haven't done many engine mounts, but those ones were the worst. So I think I'm going to throw the suspension back together and jack the car down and move it out of here, because I said I would be done with this part in a day. And, well, the sun's about going down now. So let's put this together. Alright, so we're turning the wheels. And for some reason, the tops of the strut towers. So let's bring the car off the jacks. I'll actually set you up for a time lapse on that one. I haven't done time lapses today, and I couldn't work with the camera in my face. It's getting pretty dark now. Well, there we go. The car's on the ground. The motor's in the car. I gotta put the T-top and the hatch back on, but yeah, I say that's worked out pretty well. So tomorrow, I'm going to hook up the accessories, like, I don't know, the alternator, which goes right there, by the way. It's pretty easy to get to with the radiator out. And I'm going to see if it runs, because I got to wire up the battery. By the way, if you're going to remove a car battery, please, please, please don't cut the terminals off, because now I got to rewire these terminals. That's another thing I got to do, including the ground. Look at the ground. It's also cut off. So if somebody cut both of them off, I'll just replace them. You know, I can do that. So yeah, we'll see if this thing runs tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Wednesday. And if it runs, well, I'm going to be throwing this thing back together extremely quickly because my Pontiac kind of blew up. So, yeah. So the motor's in, the Porsche 924. And, yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good car so far. We'll see if it runs tomorrow. Thanks for watching.